Now, if you like things for free, making your own plant food is a great way to go. There's multiple different ways of doing it, but for us it's either nettle or comfrey leaves. When we came onto this plot, the plot was inundated with comfrey, and it's literally every 2 foot all the way up our original plot. Now there's no digging it out. It goes down so deep that we could only get the very tops of the roots. So each year it keeps coming back. So last year we decided to make the use of this comfrey and make it into a comfrey tea. A comfrey tea is not something for you to drink, but it's a great fertiliser for all your fruiting plants. Anything that likes a high nitrogen content. It's very, very easy to do, and it's the same method with nettles as well. And again, nettles is a great fertiliser too. Now with either one, you can either chop and drop. So you can either collect your leaves, chop them up into little bits and let them rot down naturally around your plants. This is a very easy way, a little bit less smelly than making a comfrey tea, and it works really well. Another way of adding these great beneficial leaves to your garden or your allotment is by adding it to your compost bin. All these extra leaves and things like that really are fantastic additions to your compost, giving you a really good overall good mix of nitrogen ratio to your compost bins. Another way, which is what I'm going to show you today, is comfrey tea. Now again, there's lots of different methods people use, and some people mix their ingredients up to give different ratios. We're just happy to do a basic comfrey tea. And all you need is a container. This will restrict any issues with any bacteria or any excess heat from having clear plastic containers. But really anything that you've got that you can cover to keep some of the light out will work absolutely fine. We have some large blue plastic containers. Now using this particular comfrey tea is always better when it's at its fruiting stage. Giving comfrey tea, which is something high in nitrogen, to a young plants or any plants that aren't fruiting, is just going to encourage a mass amount of leaves without the production of the actual fruits or vegetables themselves. So it's always better to feed this kind of thing as they start fruiting and producing those fruits and vegetables. Now this is what it looks like. Now this is pretty much full of comfrey. Now this is all this year's comfrey leaves because we've actually already gone through last year's comfrey. And as you can see, it's a real scummy, yucky, slimy mess. Now what you can do to help with this is actually put this into a net instead of actually loose in the container. Having this in a net will actually help in the straining stage. This will rot down over a few months and eventually will turn into just literally liquid, but you can use it before it's fully rotted down. Now you can see the colour of this, it's quite brown already. Yeah, and we started brewing this about 2 months ago. So this barrel is actually very full of comfrey, so you can see how much comfrey we actually get on this plot. Now if you don't have loads of comfrey, just use a smaller container. It's really strong stuff. And all you have to do is just pop it into the container. Now again, net or no net, it just means at the end product you either strain it or don't strain it. And we're actually not going to chop it down, we're just going to actually put it in whole. You can chop it down if you want to, but for us it makes no difference. And just make sure it's submerged as much as possible. Yummy. Okay, even with a cold I can smell that. Now as it rots down, it will turn into a really dark mixture. And I've actually got one that we've been using right here. Now, as you can see, this is much, much darker than the slightly fresher comfrey tea that we've already got. And there's very little left of the comfrey in here now. All you have to do is just literally either strain the liquid if you do need to strain, or just take it out. Now we have a particular watering can that we actually use for this, something that doesn't clog up, because sometimes if you use one with a rosette particularly, it will clog up with any little bits of comfrey that you've got. Now, how we use our comfrey tea is about 10 parts to whatever literage you've got of your watering can, but we just kind of play it by eye, to be honest. You don't want to feed this undiluted to your plants. You really do need actually dilute it down in your watering can with some water. Now, once it starts rotting down, the smell actually dissipates quite a lot and it's a little bit more bearable. I think it's just in the first early couple of months of rotting stage when you're adding lots of fresh material to it. And this is the perfect time at this time of year when you have plenty of fruits and vegetables to actually add this fantastic plant food. And that really is how simple it can be. Now, there is loads of different ways of making your own fertilizers. There's some fantastic books out there as well. Now, if you can do it with grass cuttings, you can do it with nettles, you can do it with almost anything that has a high nitrogen content within its leaves that you're going to submerge into some water to rot down. Makes a really, really good feed. And this is free. Compared to the price of actual fertilizers these days, this is a really good, easy, simple way for everyone to be able to feed their plants and not have to spend any money. What's your favourite way to feed your plants? Do you do the chop and drop? Do you just add it to your compost? Or do you make teas? What's your favourite teas that you found? Is it the grass? Is it the bramble? Is it the nettles? Or is it the comfrey tea? Let me know in the comments. I love seeing everybody's comments on all the different methods that people use. But give this tea a try. Very simple, very easy, and all you need is a container.